The night on the human research base was usually calm. The halls were quiet. The machines hummed softly and only a few lights stayed on. Most people slept early because the alien world outside had long nights and long days. The humans learned to rest when the sky turned dark blue and stay inside when the large moon rose. Inside a small chamber on the east side of the base, a young human engineer named Aaron worked alone. He had dark hair, a simple uniform, and a calm face that rarely changed. He liked late-night work because no one asked him questions. He could think clearly, repair things in peace, and listen to the low sound of his tools. On his table lay a half-open air filter. It had stopped working earlier that day, and Aaron wanted to fix it before morning. The air on this planet was thin, so every device mattered. He did not want anyone to wake up to a malfunction. He wiped his hands and leaned closer to the open filter. A soft spark jumped from the tool, and he raised an eyebrow. Strange. The wiring is not supposed to react like that. Outside his chamber, the base remained silent. Even the wind outside had gone still. Aaron took a deep breath and adjusted the small screws. He felt tired but focused. Work gave him comfort. Then he heard it, a very soft knock on his metal door. Aaron froze and looked up. No one usually visited him at this hour. The guards changed shifts earlier, and the science team slept long ago. For a moment, he wondered if the knock was his imagination. Then it came again, a gentle, almost careful sound. Knock. Knock. Aaron stood slowly. "Who is there?" he asked. No answer. He walked to the door and opened it just a little. His eyes widened. Standing in the doorway was Princess Lyra. She was the royal guest from the alien kingdom not far from the base. Her people had bright skin with a soft glow, tall frames, and calm facial markings that showed emotion through faint color changes. Lyra wore a ceremonial suit made of living fabric, a rare material that moved like smooth water. Tonight her suit was damaged. Dust covered the silver patterns and a thin crack ran along the shoulder. Her facial markings glowed a worried green. She looked at Aaron with gentle eyes. "Human Aaron," she said in a quiet voice. "May I enter?" Aaron stepped aside without thinking. "Of course. Is something wrong?" Lyra entered the chamber slowly, holding the damaged part of her suit with her hand. She looked embarrassed, almost nervous. For a princess known for calm dignity, this was unusual. Aaron closed the door. "Princess Lyra, what happened?" She took a slow breath. "I had a problem during my night practice. My ceremonial suit malfunctioned. I was near the outer gardens and dust entered the fabric channels. It caused discomfort and disrupted the suit's systems." Aaron nodded, unsure why she had come to him. "Do you need medical help?" She shook her head quickly. "No, my health is safe. Only the suit is damaged. I need help repairing it before anyone sees me like this." Her markings shifted to a soft, shy yellow. "It is a cultural issue. A princess must not appear in public with a damaged ceremonial suit." Aaron understood. He did not know every alien custom, but he respected them. He also understood why she might avoid waking the alien guards. They were loyal but very strict. A royal mistake could turn into needless trouble. Lyra looked at him again, her voice calm but slightly trembling. "Can you please clean me, human?" "The suit needs cleaning and repair." The words were simple, but her tone carried trust and hope. Aaron blinked. He felt surprised that she had chosen him instead of the alien engineers. They had more training. They knew more about her people's technology. He was just an engineer fixing air filters. Still, he nodded. "I will help. Sit down." Lyra followed his instructions and sat on a small chair beside the work table. She looked around Aaron's chamber with curiosity. There were tools, spare parts, and half-complete machines everywhere. The room smelled of metal and warm circuitry, but she did not seem bothered. Aaron approached her carefully. "Does your suit react strongly to human tools?" "It depends on the tool," she answered. "The fabric is alive, but your machines do not harm it. Your methods are different from ours." Aaron reached out, stopping just before touching the damaged part. "May I?" Lyra nodded softly. He examined the crack. The fabric felt warm, as if it breathed. The dust was fine and metallic, likely from one of the palace-style machines the base installed earlier. Aaron picked up a gentle cleaning brush and began removing the dust. Lyra stayed still, her eyes following every move. The damaged suit glowed faintly as he worked. "This is unusual material," Aaron said quietly. "It is old technology from my ancestors." she replied. Only a few know how to fix it with our usual tools. Your method may work because you see things differently. Aaron smiled a little. I only see a broken system that needs fixing. Her marking shifted to a warm blue. That is why I came to you. Aaron paused. You trust me that much? Lyra hesitated, then spoke slowly. Humans often solve problems without fear of tradition. You think in simple lines, clear steps, direct action. It is refreshing. Aaron worked carefully, cleaning each line until the fabric regained its natural shine. The suit responded positively, showing soft pulses of light. What caused the malfunction? He asked. Lyra lowered her gaze. It happened during a practice ritual. I miscalculated the energy channel and stepped too close to a small device. It released dust from the ground. The suit reacted suddenly, and I became worried someone would see. Aaron shook his head gently. There is nothing wrong with making a mistake. In my culture, a princess must not show weakness. Her voice slipped into a sad tone. Even a small error becomes large in the eyes of others. Aaron straightened. Then they are judging the wrong things. Lyra looked at him with surprise. Her markings shifted again. You speak boldly. I speak simply, he said. Many problems are smaller than people believe. She did not argue. Instead, she watched him continue the repair. Aaron opened a small kit and used a bonding tool to close the crack in the fabric. He worked with steady hands. The room stayed quiet except for the soft hum of the bonding tool. After a moment, Lyra whispered, Your patience is unusual. Aaron shrugged. I like fixing things. You like restoring order, she corrected. Maybe that too. As minutes passed, the suit's damage began to disappear. The fabric smoothed itself naturally as he cleaned it. The crack sealed with a soft glow. Lyra let out a quiet breath, almost like relief. You saved me from embarrassment, she said. I just repaired your suit, Aaron replied. For me, that is enough. Aaron stepped back and looked at the restored suit. It looked almost new, faint light running across it like water. He gave a small nod. You should be fine now. The systems are stable again. Lyra stood slowly. Thank you, Aaron. You have helped me more than you know. Aaron smiled. You are welcome. She walked to the door, then paused. I will remember this night. It showed me something important about humans. What is that? That you help without judgment. Aaron felt a quiet warmth inside but kept his calm face. Good night, princess. Lyra bowed her head softly, then left his chamber with silent steps. The door closed. Aaron exhaled, feeling the quiet return. He looked at his tools, then at the repaired air filter on the table. Tonight had changed something, not only for him, not only for her, but maybe for the future of two worlds. The next morning arrived with a soft golden light that filled the human base. Machines activated themselves, screens lit up, and quiet footsteps echoed through the halls. Everyone prepared for another day of study on the alien world. Only one small chamber felt different from before. Aaron stood in front of the mirror, brushing off dust from his uniform. He looked the same as always, calm and focused, yet his eyes held something new. The memory of the princess entering his room in the middle of the night stayed with him. He still wondered why she trusted him so quickly. He sighed, grabbed his tools, and stepped out into the hallway. The air smelled clean. The lights were bright. Everything felt normal again, but his mind did not feel normal. As he walked toward the workshop, two human technicians whispered near a control panel. Did you hear? One of them said. Princess Lyra was seen leaving the East Hall late at night. Really? Why was she there? No idea. Maybe she inspected the base. Aaron listened quietly. He passed by without joining their conversation. He did not want to start rumors. He respected Lyra's privacy, and he knew she trusted him. When he entered the workshop, he found an alien guard waiting for him. The guard stood tall, wearing polished armor that reflected the bright lights. His face markings glowed a neutral gray, showing no strong emotion. Aaron, the guard said calmly. The princess requests your presence. Aaron blinked. Now? Yes, she is in the small diplomatic chamber. She asks for you only. The guard stepped aside. Aaron felt a small wave of surprise, but he nodded. He placed his tools aside and followed the hall toward the diplomatic chamber. His footsteps echoed softly as he walked. When he reached the door, he paused for a moment, then stepped inside. Princess Lyra sat at the center table. Her ceremonial suit was fully restored, glowing softly with calm blue patterns. She looked peaceful. her markings shifting in slow, gentle waves. She turned toward him with a warm expression. "Good morning, Aaron." Aaron bowed his head slightly. "Good morning, Princess. Do you need help again?" Lyra smiled faintly. "Not exactly. I wish to speak with you." Aaron sat across from her. The chamber was quiet and filled with soft white light. A few alien symbols glowed from the walls, showing cultural art. Lyra placed her hands on the table, her long fingers folded neatly. "I want to thank you again for last night," she said. "You solved the problem with my suit so easily." Aaron shook his head. "It was not easy. Your suit is complex. Yet you fixed it without hesitation." Her markings turned warm blue. "My people repair things by following old rules. You repaired it by watching and understanding. That difference is special." Aaron leaned back slightly. "I only wanted to help." "That is why it matters," she said. She paused, her eyes lowering for a moment. "May I tell you something, human Aaron?" "Of course," Lyra took a slow breath. "My ceremonial suit is more than clothing. It reacts to my health, my emotions, and my energy. If it breaks, it shows that something inside me is unbalanced." Aaron frowned gently. "That sounds like heavy pressure." "It is," Lyra admitted. "My people believe a princess must always appear perfect. Calm, strong, wise." Her markings shifted into a faint green, showing stress. "A mistake in a public place becomes a shadow on my family." Aaron spoke with steady calm. "That is not fair," Lyra blinked at him. "Many say the same. Yet tradition is strong." She looked down at her hands. "Last night I was ashamed. I feared the guards would see me with a damaged suit and worry about my training. So I went to the one person who would not judge me." Aaron felt a small warmth in his chest. "You trusted me." "Yes," she said softly. "Because you see me as a person, not as a title." For a long moment the room stayed quiet. Then Lyra lifted a small crystal device from the table. It glowed with soft light. "This contains the suit system record," she explained. "I want you to see why the malfunction happened. It may help us understand the suit better." Aaron accepted the device and placed it beside him. "Thank you." "I will study it," Lyra nodded slowly. "I hope my trust is not a burden." "It is not," Aaron said. He spoke simply but with sincere steadiness. "I will help as long as you need." Her markings softened to a warm purple, a color that meant relief. "You are different from many humans I have met." Aaron raised a brow. "Is that good or bad?" "It is good." She smiled gently. Before Aaron could respond, a sudden soft alarm sounded from the wall. A message flashed on a floating panel. "Palace machine report, instability detected in outer energy channels." Lyra's markings brightened in surprise. "This message is not common. The palace machines are supposed to stay stable for many cycles." Aaron stood. "Is this related to your suit malfunction?" "It might be," she said. "Those machines use similar energy patterns." The floating panel displayed lines of alien symbols, glowing brighter with each second. Lyra turned to Aaron. "I would like you to examine the device in my suit storage chamber. You may understand something my engineers do not." Aaron nodded. "Show me the way." They both left the diplomatic chamber, walking through quiet halls. Alien guards stepped aside respectfully. Some watched Aaron with curious eyes, wondering why a human walked beside their princess during a technical issue. Lyra led him through a set of tall doors into a small storage room where ceremonial suits were kept. The walls glowed with soft light and several suits hung like silver statues. She guided him to one of the devices attached to the wall. It pulsed with light but flickered in a strange, uneven pattern. "This device cleans the suits and balances their energy," Lyra explained. "It should never flicker." Aaron crouched down and examined the device. He placed his fingers near the edge, watching how the light reacted. The machine pulsed again, but this time the pulse was slightly off rhythm. "This is not a small problem," he said. "Something is affecting the energy source." Lyra stepped closer. "Can you repair it?" "Not yet. I need to understand what is causing the instability." Aaron touched the panel gently. The machine hummed unevenly beneath his hand. "Human tools may help. Alien tools may help too. We might need both." Lyra watched him closely. "You speak with certainty." "I speak with honesty," Aaron replied. "This thing is not simply broken. It is confused." Lyra blinked. "Machines do not get confused. This one does," Aaron said. "It follows patterns. If something in the pattern changes too quickly, the machine loses balance." Lyra's markings shifted in thought. "Your view is different from our engineers." That is why we might succeed, Aaron said. For the next hour, he worked with calm movements. He used scanners, brushes, and light tools. Lyra stood nearby, offering information about her culture's technology. Whenever he asked, he learned something surprising. The machine reacted better to human touch than alien tools. Lyra noticed too. It responds to you, she said. Softly, Aaron nodded. Your machines use living fabric and energy channels. Human hands are steady and neutral. They do not carry your cultural energy patterns. That might help. Lyra looked thoughtful. You may become the bridge we need. Aaron stood and stepped back. The machine needs deeper repair. I will need more time. Before Lyra could respond, another message flashed on the wall. Energy instability expanding. Palace systems may be affected soon. Lyra's eyes widened. If the palace machines fail, the whole city will face problems. Aaron steadied himself. Then we need to act fast. Lyra looked at him with deep trust. Will you help me again, human Aaron? He met her gaze. Yes, I will help. She exhaled slowly, relieved. Then let us prepare. The palace will need both of us. The simple night repair had turned into something far greater, and for the first time both human and princess understood that their teamwork might change everything. The morning sun rose slowly over the alien city, spreading soft golden light across tall crystal towers and glowing walkways. The alien kingdom always looked peaceful from a distance, but today a quiet tension floated in the air. Something deep inside the palace machinery was failing. Princess Lyra walked through the main hall of the human base with quick steps. Aaron walked beside her, holding a small case of tools. His calm face remained steady, but his mind felt unusually alert. He sensed the worry in Lyra's movements, in the subtle shift of her markings, and in the silent way she kept glancing at the urgent messages flashing on her wrist device. A transport vehicle waited outside the base. 2 alien guards stood beside it. Their silver armor shone under the bright sky, but their faces showed worry. They bowed when Lyra approached. Princess, one guard said. The palace engineers report rising instability. Some corridors are losing light. A few machines have shut down. Lyra nodded. We are leaving at once. Aaron entered the transport behind her. The doors closed and the vehicle lifted from the ground with a gentle hum. The city stretched below them, full of glowing pathways and tall towers. Yet some areas flickered, lights dimming in slow waves. Aaron leaned forward slightly. How old are these palace machines? Thousands of years, Lyra answered. Our ancestors built them with care, but they used rare materials and living energy lines. Only a few engineers understand them now. Aaron studied the city as the transport moved closer. And they reacted to the cleaning device malfunction in your suit chamber? Yes, Lyra said softly. Everything is connected. The palace machines share energy with the suit systems. When one pattern becomes unstable, others may follow. Aaron nodded slowly. Then we need to find the source before everything spreads. Lyra watched him for a moment. I am glad you came with me. I said I would help, Aaron replied in his usual quiet tone. Her markings softened gently, almost like a smile. The transport descended near the palace, which looked like a giant living crystal shaped by time. Soft light moved across its surface like slow waves. Guards guided Aaron and Lyra inside quickly, leading them through long hallways filled with carved symbols and quiet beauty. But the beauty was overshadowed by trouble. Some wall crystals flickered weakly. A few machines hummed unevenly, showing signs of failing energy. The air felt heavy. An older alien engineer approached them. His markings glowed a stressed green. Princess, thank the stars you came. We cannot stabilize the outer energy channels. Every adjustment creates more imbalance, Lyra nodded. This is Aaron. He is a human engineer from the base. He will assist us. The elder engineer looked surprised. A human? Princess, surely our own specialist. Lyra raised a calm hand. He repaired my ceremonial suit when our engineers could not. He sees things differently. That is what we need now. The elder hesitated, then bowed his head. As you wish. Aaron stepped closer. Show me the main problem. They were led into a large chamber glowing in soft blue light. A central machine stood at the center, shaped like a spiraling column of crystal and metal. Its surface pulsed in uneven waves, almost like a heartbeat losing rhythm. Surrounding machines flickered with misaligned light. Aaron scanned the area with calm eyes. He noticed small cracks in the energy channels, tiny flickers of unstable patterns. and slight pressure waves from the central device. This machine is trying to follow its old pattern, Aaron said. But something is pushing against it. The elder engineer nodded. Our readings say the same. We do not know what pushes the pattern out of alignment. Aaron crouched down and examined a side panel. Show me the internal flow. The elder activated a floating screen. Lines of light moved across the display, forming a slow map of energy pathways. Some lines bent sharply, almost crooked. That is it, Aaron said. These lines are not supposed to bend. Something changed in the palace structure. Lyra stepped closer. Could something have damaged the inner channels? Maybe, Aaron said. Or maybe the old machines are reacting to a shift in their environment. Lyra exchanged a worried look with the elder engineer. If the palace foundation changed, it would be serious. Aaron stood and walked around the machine. He placed his hand on the surface gently. The machine reacted with a small warm pulse, similar to how the suit reacted last night. The elder engineer's eyes widened. It responds to him. Lyra nodded softly. Just like the suit. Aaron removed a small tool from his kit. He used it to test the energy channel. The light flickered in rhythm to his movements. He studied the reaction carefully. This machine needs stabilization, he said. Human tools can help, but I need access to the lower levels. The elder engineer stepped back, surprised. The lower levels are dangerous. Only a few engineers go there. The energy lines are strong and unpredictable. Aaron remained calm. Then I should go with someone who knows the place. But I need to reach the center of the instability. Lyra spoke immediately. I will go with you. The elder engineer looked alarmed. Princess, the lower levels are unstable. They may collapse. It is not safe. Lyra's markings glowed firm blue. My people face danger if we do nothing. I will not stand in the safe hall while others work. Aaron turned to her. Are you sure? Yes, she said with quiet confidence. We go together. The elder engineer hesitated, then finally nodded. Very well. I will send a guard to accompany you. Lyra raised her hand. No. Too many footsteps may disturb the energy. Aaron and I will go alone. Aaron closed his tool case. Then lead the way. The entrance to the lower levels appeared behind a tall crystal door. When it opened, a dim hallway stretched downward, lit only by thin blue lines running along the walls. The air felt cooler here, and the faint hum of ancient machinery echoed through the passage. Lyra walked beside Aaron, her steps silent but steady. When I was young, she said softly, I was told never to enter the lower levels. They say the energy lines remember the past. Aaron glanced at her. Memories stored in machines? In symbols and patterns, she said. Our ancestors believed the palace had a spirit. Aaron studied the glowing patterns on the walls. Maybe they were right in their own way. They reached a wider chamber. Crystal pillars stood in a circle, each one flickering with unstable light. Aaron recognized the pattern from the main machine. This is the center, he said. The instability begins here. Lyra touched one of the pillars gently. The pillar responded with a weak glow. These pillars feed energy into the whole palace. If one fails, others follow. Aaron placed his hand on a nearby pillar. It pulsed unevenly beneath his palm. I can fix it, he said. But I need to connect the pillars again. They should follow one rhythm, not many. Lyra watched him work with careful eyes. Your hands are steady. Steady hands help, but patience helps more, Aaron said. He removed several tools and worked along the pillar edges. Each adjustment brought small improvements. The pillars began to pulse in a smoother rhythm. Lyra placed her hand on another pillar, helping guide the energy lines. You understand my machines better than many of my people, she said softly. I understand patterns, Aaron replied. Machines, people, problems, they all follow patterns. A faint rumble echoed through the floor. The pillars glowed brighter. The instability dropped to a lower level. It is working, Lyra said. Aaron nodded. We need to return to the main chamber. The upper machine should be stable now. They climbed back through the hallway. When they reached the main chamber, the elder engineer rushed toward them. Princess. Human! His markings glowed bright relief. The central machine is stabilizing. The patterns are normal again. Aaron walked forward, watching the machine pulse evenly. The danger had dropped for now. You did it, Lyra whispered. Aaron shook his head. We did it together. Lyra looked at him with warm markings. Your help saved many people today. Aaron gave a small nod. Still a lot of work to do. Yes, Lyra agreed. But now the council must hear what happened. They must understand why I trust you. Aaron glanced at her. Do you think they will listen? Lyra answered with steady confidence. They will listen now. You have earned their respect. The palace lights brightened around them, slowly returning to their natural glow. The danger of collapse had passed, but a new turning point had begun. A human and an alien princess had worked together, and the whole kingdom had seen the result. Something important had changed between their worlds. The next morning, the human woke up with the memory of the alien princess's sudden appearance still vivid. He had barely slept, and yet his mind could not stop replaying her words, the urgency in her voice and the strange glow of her eyes. He rubbed his temples and tried to shake off the remnants of the dreamlike night. Yet a part of him could not deny a growing curiosity about why she had come into his chamber. In the royal palace, the corridors were filled with light from the twin suns. Guards patrolled and attendants moved with quiet purpose, yet the human walked through it all with a distracted mind. He tried to recall the exact tone of her request. Can you please clean me, human? It was simple, but something about it had been oddly intimate, almost as if she trusted him in a way no one else had before. As he entered the training hall, he noticed a group of young cadets practicing hand-to-hand techniques. Their movements were precise, disciplined, and careful, but none of them carried the energy he remembered in the princess's steps the night before. He felt the contrast sharply. She was elegance itself, but also unrestrained in a way that none of the palace staff ever were. It was this contrast that made him wonder. How much of the princess was shaped by duty and how much was just her own spirit? The human had been tasked with learning basic etiquette and the customs of the alien court. Though he had mastered much of it, there was still a feeling that he only understood a fraction of their world. He was aware that every gesture, every word, and every glance carried layers of meaning. Yet when the princess had approached him in the night, it was as if all those rules had vanished. She had treated him simply as a human, just him. Nothing else mattered. He sighed and continued walking toward the garden where morning dew reflected the light like tiny diamonds. The palace gardeners were already tending to the plants, carefully trimming and watering each one. He wondered if the princess spent her nights walking through these gardens, like the human sometimes did when he could not sleep. There was a serenity here that seemed to follow her wherever she went. As he rounded the corner near the central fountain, he noticed something unusual, a small mechanical device floating near the water. It was sleek and glimmered in the sunlight. He bent to examine it. The device was clearly alien in design, something meant for communication or surveillance but not harmful. He touched it and it immediately projected a holographic map of the palace. He frowned. "Why would this be here?" he muttered. Suddenly, a soft voice spoke from behind him. "You found it." The human turned to see the princess standing just a few steps away. Her eyes were calm, but her gaze was focused. "I wanted you to find it. It is important." He blinked. "Important? How? What is it for?" She tilted her head slightly. "It is a key to understanding more than just the palace. It shows where secrets are kept and where truths can be found. I need someone who is curious enough to follow them, someone who is honest enough not to be blinded by fear." The human felt a flutter of excitement. He had trained for many things, fought many drills, and learned countless lessons about survival, diplomacy, and alien culture. But this was different. This was an adventure, and it came directly from the princess. She stepped closer, her hand pointing toward the holographic map. "This device will guide you. If you follow it carefully, you will find the place I want you to reach. But you must promise not to tell anyone, not the guards, not my advisors. No one." He nodded, a serious expression settling on his face. "I understand. I promise." The princess studied him for a long moment, then finally smiled. It was small, almost shy, yet there was warmth in it. "Good, I knew I could trust you, now go. The path is ready for you, but the journey will not be simple. You must rely on your instincts." With that, she turned and walked away, her flowing robes catching the sunlight as she disappeared down the corridor. The human stared after her, feeling both a sense of responsibility and excitement. The world inside the palace had always seemed large, complex, and intimidating. But now, with her trust placed in him, it felt like a map to discovery. He activated the device again, watching as the holographic pathways shifted and shimmered. It led him to a hidden stairwell behind a tapestry in one of the lesser-used halls. He pushed the fabric aside and felt the cool stone beneath his fingers. The stairwell spiraled downward, and he descended carefully, every step echoing softly. At the bottom, he found a door, smooth and metallic, unlike the stone and wood of the palace above. The device projected a small key symbol over the door. He inserted the key it had given him, and with a soft click, the door slid open. Inside, the room was dark, lit only by faint bioluminescent lines on the walls. The lines pulsed gently, creating patterns that seemed almost alive. In the center of the room was a pedestal, and on it lay a small, intricate artifact. It was unlike anything he had ever seen, shimmering with colors that shifted as he moved. He reached out and picked it up, feeling a strange warmth spread through his hands. At that moment, a voice echoed in the room. "Do you understand what you hold?" He spun around, heart racing, but there was no one visible. "Who's there?" he asked. The voice was soft yet firm. "It is not me who will answer, human, it is you. You must decide if your heart and mind are ready for what comes next. This artifact is a key, but keys unlock more than doors. They unlock choices, responsibilities, and truths." He looked down at the artifact. It seemed almost to hum, as if alive. He could feel its energy, not threatening but compelling. It pulled at his curiosity, demanding he consider the next step. Suddenly, the princess appeared at the threshold, silent and graceful. "Do not be afraid," she said. Her eyes met his, steady and calm. "You were chosen because you can handle this. But remember, human, once you proceed, there is no turning back. This path is not for the faint of heart." He nodded, gripping the artifact firmly. "I'm ready," he said, his voice steady despite the nerves twisting in his stomach. She smiled, just faintly, but it was enough to give him courage. "Then follow me," she said. Together, they moved deeper into the hidden corridors of the palace, where the walls themselves seemed alive with history. Ancient symbols lined the stones, depicting stories of past rulers, battles, and discoveries. The princess explained the meanings behind them as they walked, her voice low and calm. Each story was a lesson, each symbol a warning, and he absorbed every word carefully. Hours passed in quiet exploration. The human learned more about the palace, the alien culture, and the delicate balance of power than he ever could have imagined. And yet, despite the seriousness of their journey, there was a subtle warmth between them, a shared understanding, a silent acknowledgement of trust that did not need words. Finally, they reached a large chamber, circular in shape with a high dome ceiling. At the center was a pedestal similar to the one earlier, but this one was larger, carved from a single piece of crystal-like material. The artifact he carried began to glow, resonating with the larger structure. The princess gestured for him to place it on the pedestal. As he did, the chamber filled with a brilliant light. Patterns of energy danced across the walls, and a low hum filled the space. The human felt a surge of power and knowledge flow through him, images of the past, present, and potential future flashing in his mind. When the light faded, the princess spoke softly. "You have seen the beginning, human. What you do next will shape the future. But remember, knowledge is only useful when combined with wisdom and courage." He looked at her, feeling both awe and determination. "I understand. I won't fail," she smiled, her expression now filled with pride. "I know you won't. Now let us return. There is still much to prepare, and the palace will soon awaken to a new dawn." As they left the hidden chamber, the human carried not only the artifact, but also a new sense of purpose. He realized that his connection with the princess had deepened, and with it, his own role in the future of her world. The night she had entered his chamber suddenly without warning had begun a journey neither of them could have predicted, but one that would change everything. The palace had never looked brighter than that morning. Twin suns rose over the horizon, casting long golden shadows across the courtyards. The human walked beside the princess, holding the artifact carefully. Its glow had faded, but he could feel its presence, quiet yet powerful, as if it had a life of its own. He had never imagined that a single night could change his path so completely, and yet here he was, ready for the final part of their journey. The corridors were alive with preparation. Attendants moved quickly, guards stood at attention, and the air was filled with a mixture of tension and anticipation. The princess moved through it all gracefully, her calm presence commanding respect without a word. But the human noticed something else. Her eyes held a spark, a hope, a determination that made him believe she had chosen him for more than just companionship. They reached the main hall, where the Council of Elders awaited. The artifact was meant for them. It was not only a key to hidden knowledge but also a symbol of unity and trust. The human felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. He had never stood before beings so powerful, yet with the princess beside him he felt steady and capable. The eldest of the council, a tall figure with silver hair and piercing eyes, rose as they entered. "Princess," he said, his voice deep and formal, "you have returned with the human?" "Yes," the princess replied. Her voice was calm, unwavering. "He has earned his place here. The artifact he carries is more than a tool. It is proof of understanding, loyalty, and courage." The human stepped forward, holding the artifact high. Its soft light began to shimmer again, reacting to the presence of the council. He could feel their scrutiny, their thoughts probing, judging, but he held firm. This moment mattered. One of the council members, a stern woman with golden skin, leaned forward. "And what makes you worthy, human? This is no place for novices or strangers. Our world's future may rest in your hands." He swallowed, his heart beating faster, but he answered honestly. "I do not know if I am worthy, but I know this: I have followed the princess's trust. I have acted with honesty, courage, and care. I have learned, and I am ready to continue learning. I only asked for the chance to prove myself." The room fell silent. The artifact glowed brighter, and the light danced across the walls in intricate patterns. The council whispered among themselves, and the human could feel their minds turning, evaluating, judging, weighing possibilities. Finally, the eldest spoke. "Very well. If the princess believes in you, then we will honor her judgment. The artifact is yours to present, but know this: it carries the future of our people. Its knowledge is a burden as much as it is a gift." The princess smiled, a quiet pride in her eyes. "He is ready," she said simply. The human stepped forward, placing the artifact on a circular platform at the center of the hall. A beam of light shot upward, filling the entire chamber with brilliance. Symbols and images formed in the air, showing scenes of the past, histories long forgotten, and possibilities for the future. He could see how the palace had been built, the trials of the rulers before them, and the challenges their people had faced. He understood in that moment that the artifact was not just a key, it was a teacher. "This is incredible," he whispered. "It is more than that," the princess said softly. "It is a reminder of what we can achieve when we act with courage and trust. You have already proven that humans are capable of greatness even in worlds not your own." The human felt a warmth spread through him. The princess's words were more powerful than any lesson he had ever learned. It was not just knowledge that mattered, it was the heart, the choices, and the willingness to act despite uncertainty. Suddenly, the chamber walls shifted, revealing a hidden passageway. A low hum resonated through the air, and the light from the artifact seemed to point toward the opening. The council looked on with curiosity and caution. "The path is open," the eldest said. "What lies ahead may change our understanding forever." The princess turned to the human. "This is the final step. We will face what comes together. Are you ready?" He nodded firmly. "With you, yes. I am ready." Together they stepped into the passage. It was narrow, winding, and unlike anything in the palace. Bioluminescent plants lined the walls, illuminating the way, and the air was filled with the faint hum of energy. The human could feel the artifact pulsing gently in his hands as if guiding them. After some time they reached a large chamber, vast and open, with a high ceiling that seemed to touch the stars themselves. At the center was a crystalline structure, glowing with radiant energy. The artifact reacted instantly, shining brighter and resonating with the crystal. "This is it," the princess said. "The heart of knowledge. It holds the wisdom of our ancestors, the power to protect our people, and the guidance to shape our future. Only one pure of heart and intention can activate it." The human stepped forward, holding the artifact above the crystal. A surge of energy flowed through him, and he felt a connection to everything: the palace, the people, the princess, and even the planet itself. Images, feelings, and thoughts filled his mind. He understood the balance of life, the responsibility of leadership, and the strength that came from unity. The princess watched him closely, her eyes shining with pride and trust. "You are more than I imagined," she said softly. The crystal began to hum and rotate, and a beam of light shot upward, piercing the ceiling and stretching toward the sky. The energy spread through the planet, touching every corner of their world. The human could feel it in his bones, a power that was neither threatening nor overwhelming but empowering. When the light finally settled, the chamber was calm once again. The artifact glowed faintly, now resting quietly in his hands. The princess reached out and touched his shoulder. "You have done it," she said. "Together we have unlocked what many thought impossible." The human looked at her, feeling a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration. "I couldn't have done it without you," he admitted. She smiled, a radiant expression that made the world feel brighter. "And I could not have done it without you. You are not just a human. You are a part of our story, our history, and our future." As they left the chamber, the palace seemed to welcome them. Guards and attendants bowed, and even the council members showed quiet respect. Word would spread of what had happened, but for now the moment belonged to them. The princess turned to the human as they walked through the corridors. "You changed everything tonight," she said. "Not just for me, but for everyone. You proved that courage and trust can surpass fear and doubt." He felt a warmth in his chest. "I only did what I thought was right," he said simply. She reached out and held his hand, a gesture of friendship, trust, and more. "And that is what makes you remarkable," she said. Later, in the quiet of the evening, the human found himself on the palace balcony, looking out over the city. The lights of the world shimmered below, reflecting the hope and promise of a brighter future. The princess joined him, standing silently beside him. They did not need words. Everything had been said in the actions, in the trust, in the journey they had shared. Finally, the princess spoke. "You are part of our world now, human, and no matter what comes next, I know we will face it together." He smiled, feeling a sense of peace and purpose unlike anything he had ever known. "Together," he agreed. As the twin suns set, casting golden light across the palace, the human and the princess stood side by side, ready for whatever the future would bring. Their journey had begun in the quiet of a night, with a simple request and trust. Now it had grown into a partnership that would shape the destiny of worlds. And in that moment, the human realized something profound. Being human was not a limitation. It was a gift. His courage, his choices, and his heart had made him extraordinary in a world far beyond his own. The princess had seen it first, and together, they would ensure that the future they had unlocked was one of hope, strength, and unity. The palace was alive with possibility, and the stars above seemed to shine brighter, as if celebrating the union of trust, courage, and understanding. And in that brilliance, the human knew that this was only the beginning. The adventure that had started with a sudden request in the middle of the night had grown into a legend, one that would be remembered for generations. And so, under the twin suns and the quiet watch of the stars, the human and the princess stepped forward into their shared destiny, ready to face every challenge, every discovery, and every moment together.